Hello, welcome back to Frog Boy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about something that I just can't seem to get off my freaking mind since yesterday. I never really wanted to make this video just because this is not a political channel, but what happened yesterday with the whole Trump being convicted of 34 charges, um, I I have to talk about this. Like, to me, that is the most un-American thing that we have ever witnessed in our lives. And it sets a precedent that is deeply, deeply concerning for the future of America. Honestly, I mean, some people are happy right now that this happened. Some people are upset. And the only thing I can think of is, what does this mean for the future of this country? You got a lot of people out there always talking about how they hate America, and then you got people that love America. Um, here's my honest thought. You may not like Donald Trump. You may not like his character. I don't really care much for his character. He seems brash. He seems, like I don't really care for his character much. But at the same time, if Donald Trump is guilty, every single politician in freaking Washington is probably just as guilty, if not more guilty. Our country is $34 trillion in debt. And it was way before Donald Trump ever got there to Washington. They can't blame everything on him. I mean, come on, take some freaking responsibility. These guys want to lead our country, the so-called country that's the leader of the free world, but yet we're in perpetual war all the time. I mean, all I know, honestly, in my lifetime, since I've been old enough to pay taxes, Donald Trump was the first president that I actually felt good. Like, I actually felt secure. I had money in my pockets. I didn't feel like we were going to be at war. Things were fine, man. We were paying less for gas. The prices for everything weren't going through the roof. We've watched in just the last year of his presidency, all of a sudden the sickness comes about. They shut down everywhere. They make everybody stay home. And now all of a sudden nobody cares. They don't even give you like 2 weeks off of work anymore. Now it's like, well, if you got it, you can just come back to work the next day. It's like it's not like nothing. Everything that they freaked us out for, shut down our country, and everything they did, it's all like, oh, it doesn't matter now. And to me, after watching this court thing, like them literally grasping at straws, going out of their way to find anything and everything they can pin on Donald Trump, just because they literally know that they probably can't beat him in an election. I mean, after, like, look at the last 4 years, look at the last 3.5 years. I mean, seriously, do you really feel better about your life? Do you feel good? Can you really go out there and shop and be happy like you were when Donald Trump was president? I mean, like, we've got wars going on in the Middle East again. We've got freaking a war, like Russia and Ukraine fighting each other. Like seriously, man, if this is what the rest of like civilization's gonna look like after this, like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. There's no reason for any, like, with the technology and everything that we have, why do we still have wars? Seriously, like, why do we have wars? If America's supposed to be the leader of the free world, well, how come when like somebody goes to war, how come our politicians don't be like, look, man, red line in the sand. If you guys fight, we're gonna take you both out. You know what I mean? Like how is it that everything just seems so confusing? Like, nothing seems. I mean, we've got other countries that hate America, and as an American, as somebody that's a proud American with a long family history of military service and stuff, like, I used to be, 100% proud of America, thinking that, like, yeah, man, we stopped World War II and we did this and we did that. And we put a man on the moon and we've done all these amazing, miraculous things. And yet we can't get two politicians that want to be the president of the United States, like actually like lay out a real plan and be like, yeah, man, this is the way I want to lead our country. I mean, every news channel that you go to and you look on, it's just, if it's not, Fox News talking negative about Democrats or the Democrat like MSNBC and CNN talking bad about the Republicans, it's just garbage. It's literal freaking garbage. And people get so mad about this stuff. Like, you get over there on Twitter and you start reading about this stuff. There are people that have never met Trump that literally hate him. Like they're so mad they hate him. Why? What did he do? Dude's been around for what, 70 something years, and now all of a sudden he's the worst piece of like garbage on earth. Like, I don't get that. Like, that doesn't make any freaking sense to me at all. I mean, I don't think any president has ever went through the stuff that he's been through. And I mean, like, we've had a lot of presidents. I mean, isn't it like 46 already? 46, and we've never seen this type of madness in the world today. And, I used to vote Democrat. I can say that. Honestly, I can say that. I used to vote Democrat. And, I once held, a lot of the beliefs that the Democrat Party holds. I just, I mean, at the end of the day, like, this is such a freaking joke. Like, I'll never vote Democrat again. Like, I mean, those people have literally showed you their true colors. We know exactly who they are. We know that they will go out of their way to try to find a way to go after political opponents, just like they do in a banana republic. Just like they do in a banana republic. We've got so many district attorneys across the United States right now trying to pin anything they can on Donald Trump. And you know what? Honestly, if he was to just say, nah, I'm not going to run for president, I guarantee none of them would have went after him. None of them. Nobody would have went after him. To me, that just sounds like election interference, honestly. Like, they're afraid they can't beat him. And I don't think they can. I don't think they can. Honestly, I don't think Joe Biden is a good enough. He's not a leader. Like, to me, he doesn't seem like a leader. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, we've been through so many presidents, and never once in my life have I ever felt like the way I feel right now with Joe Biden as president. Like, I do not feel like he has, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like he's like the one leading this country right now. And I mean, at least with Donald Trump, we got to see him every single day, like every day. And he would talk to reporters, and like, we knew what he was going to do. Like, we knew. Like, I felt more secure with that instead of the word salad that I hear every time I hear President Biden talk. It just literally seems like word salad. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, what is this guy even trying to say? Like, what are you trying to say, buddy? Spit it out. Now, I've always been the kind of American that, whoever's the president, I respect the office. I respect the office. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat president, a Republican president. I respect the office, and I would do my duty as an American citizen to uphold our country. So when I see this kind of stuff happening, like them going after Donald Trump, I personally, and this is the tradition that we've always kind of had. Like, it was like maybe it was like just an unwritten rule or something that, like, look, man, half the country clearly supports this guy, Donald Trump. Half the country clearly supports Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Like, I'd always just thought, like, that, or just assumed that, like, look, man, like, that's a taboo thing, man. Like, if half the country votes for somebody, I guess they kind of are above the law at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I guess they kind of are, because we don't go after political opponents. Like, we don't, I mean, like, they kind of get in there. I mean, that's what impeachment's for. That's what freaking voting's for. Like, there are mechanisms to keep that person from continuing to be a tyrant. If they're a tyrant, why they're in office. Like, there's mechanisms, like 4 years, and then we get hey, man, did you do a good job? Did you not? Nope, you're gone. 8-year maximum term. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That is 8 years. That is the maximum. They cannot serve any longer than that. That's it. Like, we have checks and balances that have been baked into our country. The only checks and balances we don't have is the House of Representatives. Well, yeah, the House of Representatives and the whatchamacallit, the other people, the Senate, that literally can be there forever. These guys have, like, some of these people have served in Congress longer than I've been alive. And it's for some reason it's not better. Like, they keep telling us, yeah, we're going to fix this and we're going to fix that. Why do we have starving people? Seriously. Why do we have $34 trillion in debt? To me, that sounds like a colossal failure. If we're literally $34 trillion in debt and we're literally paying as much tax as we are as American citizens, like, something's broken, something's wrong, something needs to get fixed, and we need to get these people out of there that keep just kicking the can down the street. I bet there's so many government programs that are absolutely useless that we keep throwing money at that just don't do anything. There's no accountability in Washington. There's no accountability whatsoever. And instead of fixing these problems, they'd rather just go after Donald Trump for stuff that every single one of these clowns are probably guilty for. Every single one of them have probably paid off hookers or prostitutes or whatever so that they be quiet and don't, like, make them look bad. But you know what? Honestly, guys, after Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and man, this whole thing just, like, fell apart. And yeah, Obama was kind of the one that started a lot of it, man. He was like the most, I don't know, kind of like in your face. If you go back and you watch, like, George Bush and Al Gore and like all of the presidents before them, and you watch the way they would do the presidential debates and all of that stuff, it was like pretty straightforward. And then you get to Barack Obama and McCain, and that's when everything literally changed, and it got more combative all the time. Like, it's nothing but, like, in your face politics, and it's like literal freaking garbage. I don't even watch the news anymore. Like, I just can't. Like, it's so, it just makes me so angry, and I mean, both sides are guilty of it. Like, don't try to think that either, like, the Republicans or the Democrats no, both of them are guilty of it. Both of them are keeping our country in perpetual freaking tension, and there's no reason for that. Like, literally, we're smarter than this, and, like, we let them do this to us. I mean, how is this even possible? And then it's not even like my generation that they go after the most. It's the younger generation. It's the youth. It's the ones in college. It's the ones that they can get all together in close confined quarters like schools and colleges and stuff like that, and start freaking drilling them with nonsense that just turns them into, like, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't even want to make this video, but and it might just seem kind of incoherent, but the whole point of this is, like, dang, man, I'm kind of worried about our country now. I don't necessarily care one way or another for Donald Trump. Like, I don't. I mean, like, obviously, I think they should have just let it go to the vote and see if, the people actually wanted him to be the president again. These drastic measures, and that's what I call them, drastic measures, to try to do everything they can to try to prevent him from even being president or being able to be voted for again. That just kind of tells me, man, that we now live in a society where they will do anything they can to win. And that should scare you, because it sure as shit scares me. Because without checks and balances, without those, those unwritten laws that, like, look, man, half the country likes this person, we respect that. We respect that, because the government is for the people, by the people. For the people, by the people. They serve us. They serve us. And if half of us like one person, that literally means that, like, look, we Americans, we are in control. We elect you to go and do our voting and go and do all of our stuff for us, to make sure our country is run right so we can work and we can do our part as American citizens. And then when half the country, because when the president is the president, he is the law. He is the law. When, we literally elect people that write laws. They write laws, okay? And they've written so many freaking laws that it's so hard to keep track of now that there's just laws for everything and loopholes for this and loopholes for that. I mean, the rich don't even pay taxes. We pay the taxes. They don't pay no taxes. Why? Because they pay the politicians that write all the stuff, and they want to go after Donald Trump when they're the ones that make it so the rich people don't pay taxes, because the rich people give them money so that they can stay in power. So as soon as that goes away, then they, I don't like it any more than you like it. But hey, man, what do we do, man? What do we do? This is our country. This is our country, and these people are more than willing, and they've just showed that they are more than willing and more than capable of doing anything and everything they can to effectively stay in power. That should scare you, because that scares me. So, all right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.